Hey, what's up, guys? Coach Ben here with Jim. We're back in my gym in Arcadia, California, School of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. What's up, Jim?
Hey, man, you give belts out here, right?
I
I mean,
do.
well, you don't give them out, but you
I do give them, but I'm not giving them away for free.
Yeah, that's right. So, there's so many things into what goes into ascending the ranks. You know, the belts, the different belts. And then this is a controversial topic at time because sometimes it's of value, sometimes it's of no value. And that is, are belts significant? Is the belt ranking system valuable?
Oh, yeah. So this is another effect type question, right? And I don't have like any notes, or I don't really prepare for these. So this is just, I'm as surprised as you.
I just asked you the question. Yeah.
When I say the words, right? So I don't believe that belts are significant at all, right? In the scheme of effectiveness, in that scheme, right? And the reason is because your belt has nothing to do with your effect on the mats, right? Now, let me start in the reverse direction, and I think it'll make more sense. When you do things like chase belts, that is an ulterior motive. That is something that you're doing because of a belt, a cloth. You are doing things in hopes for a reward, okay? That right there, I'm going to tell you right now, if you care about greatness or being even good at something in the long term, that ulterior motive will not lead you there, okay? Because when you chase it's a piece of cloth. It's not going to fill the gaps in your life that you're trying to fill, okay? There's definitely something that you're compensating for. You need the belt because once I have the belt, I will have the respect. So you care about respect. You don't care about the belt. You care about the respect. Okay, now let's go even deeper than that. So you are actually you're on like the third ulterior motive, because now you train jiu-jitsu to get a belt, but you get the belt to get respect, and you get respect because you lack something in your life, and you want to fill that gap with this power. These are like 4 levels of ulterior motives. Okay, do you think your jiu-jitsu is going to reflect art? Is it going to reflect high-level performance with those ulterior motives? That you don't even care about jiu-jitsu. You care about the respect. Why not take the direct path to respect? And why not just buy the belt on the internet? Just tell people. You might as well. Who cares? It's the same thing. I tell my students, if you chase belts in my gym, I will recognize it right away, and I'm just going to promote you to black belt and kick you out. Okay, I'm going to give you a black belt and you're out. Okay, here it is. I don't give a shit. You want to, if anybody asks me, did I promote? Yeah, I gave him a black belt because that's what we wanted. That doesn't mean his skill was representative of a black belt. I don't acknowledge him as a black belt under me. I just threw him a belt. Here it is. That's what you wanted, right? You didn't, because those types of people generally, they're in jiu-jitsu for the wrong reasons, and they bring toxicity to the community. And there's a lot of these people. And the truth is, there's more than there's a lot of people, these types of people in jiu-jitsu, because society as a whole, everybody is chasing ulterior motives. You want the promotion because you want the power over the subordinates, not because you enjoy the work that you do. You want to run a business because you want to tell people you're a business owner, not because you actually enjoy the day in and day out of coming in and putting in the work. These are all ulterior motives. And when you do these ulterior motives, there's nothing wrong with it, by the way. Okay, people do it all the day. I'm not condemning anybody. It's not a judgment. It's just that it's ineffective. It doesn't work, and your life will be hard, and you will suffer, and you will struggle, and you probably are already struggling and suffering if you live your life this way, And that's it. Going back to the belt, Jim. That's why I always say, do not chase the belt. Once you get it, you're just going to be back at square one.
Yeah, and the belt is a byproduct of all the things we put value on.
That's a great word.
Effectiveness.
Byproduct. The belt. Now, you put in all the work because you wanted to be the best jiu-jitsu guy that you can be, and then you're getting promoted, and then, I'm finally at black belt. It's awesome. That is great. That's a pure thing. that you did not. There was no ulterior motives there. You just happened to get there, right? And I would say, I want to say that most jiu-jitsu people are like that, but I would probably be telling a little bit of a lie.
We don't know neither.
I don't
nor there.
know.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I will tell you right now that even me, and this is just a brutally honest answer, even me, when I started jiu-jitsu, it was probably to prove something. But over time, you kind of fall in love with things that you do well. And, it took me a long time to do it well or even competently. But once you do, it kind of, you start seeing things differently. And you do fall in love with the mechanics and certain things. And it is something that I do love now. But when I started, I was very ineffective at jiu-jitsu because I really cared about like getting the purple belt. I cared about getting the blue belt. And I would do the things that I had to do to get to the belt. But what do you think my competition results were? I think I only got like 2 golds as a blue belt, and I competed over like 30 times. So I would get bronzes. Like I got so many bronzes, I could fill up the
statue.
I could fill up the pawn shop. So like, why do you we don't know the truth, but going back, I will tell you that I believe I had such poor results because that wasn't my destination. My destination was to get the belt. So what happened? I got the belt because that's what I wanted, right? But the problem with getting the belt is that now I got the blue belt. It's another color. I gotta get the next color. And then you go on this chase when if you really sit down and examine it, that's not what you may actually want. That's just what you kind of have been taught to want. There's a difference there, right? Because I was taught to want the belt, right? I would say it's a bit of an indoctrination of society, is that we are taught to chase rewards, right? We chase the treasure at the end of the rainbow. Or these are all so many these things in society, right? So once I realized, it took me the long road to realize it because I'm already a black belt, right? Me and you are already at the long road. We're at the end. So we know it's insignificant now because we've gone through the journey. Had I known it was insignificant before I started the journey, my journey would have been much more smooth. And it would probably be much faster too. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, because I think you place your focus on, what do I need to get the belt? What do I need to, it's like, as opposed to a focus on, I need to get tighter on that move.
Yes.
I need to clean up my technique. Because if you focus on clean up my technique, clean up my move, the belt's going to come.
100%.
Period.
It will come faster.
Period. Yeah. It'll
will
come
come
faster
faster.
because that's where because you have emotional.
It's a direct
mental
path.
Well, think of it this way: your thoughts, your ideas, your emotion. It's currency. We don't. It's currency, just like a bank account. And if you spend some of that frivolously on the things that only represent something, as opposed to that something, then you're wasting your currency. You're spending money on the wrong stuff. It's like, so don't fixate on the belt. Fixate on the skills, because skills represent the belt.
Yes.
The belt represents the skills, I should say.
And I need to make this clear because I don't want people that are like, white belt, blue belt listening to this and going disrespecting people who are black belts. Okay, this is not about that. It's not about, like, I have a black belt, right? But say that I'm a white belt or blue belt, right? I still have the same mindset, but I'm a white belt, right? Knowing what I know, right? Knowing that belts are insignificant to me, and effectively, when they are insignificant, I might actually be better at jiu-jitsu. That doesn't mean that I go and I judge other people or I impose my viewpoints on, let's say, a black belt who is my instructor. I'm not going to be like, hey, belts don't matter. I'm going to line up in front of you. This is a complete misunderstanding of what I'm trying to say, and I've had people say that back to me. I can absolutely know that the belt is insignificant to me and still respect the belt when I have it or when somebody else has it, right? These are two different things, right? You can walk around with your eyes open, but you can still see through things, right? So even though I see through that the belt means nothing, if I come across somebody who kind of maybe is very proud of being, they want to be called professor or whatever, and I'm in the environment, it's not a big deal to acknowledge them for who they are. It's not a dogmatic thing. I acknowledge that, hello, professor, this is professor, blah, blah, blah. You be very respectful. But inside of me, I know that, that doesn't, it's not the belt that conveys the respect. It's who you are. That's the real confidence is who you are, And so you take the belt away. If you're not who you are, then you're just a belt. Like what does that mean?
Yeah, people will put their entire identity
on the belt,
the color of a piece of fabric.
Yeah,
and forget about the values that fabric represents. It's all about representation, right? And having a healthy balance of why we have a belt system.
Well, it's about ulterior motives, right? Most people in society do things for ulterior motives because that's what we were taught in school and what we were taught to do in jobs.
And people have a false sense of what those motives really represent, and who's to say what they really represent? I'm sure it's written in stone somewhere, but
well, they're usually not with the craft itself. So that when you enter jiu-jitsu,
they want to shortcut it.
Yeah, when you enter jiu-jitsu, look, and I hate saying this because it's probably true even amongst my own students. A lot of the people that train jiu-jitsu don't train jiu-jitsu because they love jiu-jitsu. They train jiu-jitsu because they love what jiu-jitsu can bring to them. They love what jiu-jitsu can offer them. They love what having a darker colored belt can do for their confidence. They love what having a black belt means when you're on the mats. That's what they love.
Yeah, and I will just kind of add to that. I would say there's nothing wrong with that string of thought that you rattled off. There's nothing wrong with that.
No judgment.
However, it's to have a healthy balance of what it takes to facilitate all those values you just rattled off. Yeah, well, here's why. It's a deeper discussion.
Because remember in the beginning we talked about ulterior, like layers of ulterior.
Yeah.
The more layers of ulterior, the less effective you're going to be. This is not, don't listen to me. Examine everything you've done with ulterior motives. Okay, and be honest. This is why ego is such a fundamental thing, but it's not an easy thing that we get hung up right then and there. I do not care what anybody thinks of me. So when I say embarrassing things about myself, people are like, oh, this guy is crazy. But really, it's more of like I'm trying to be free. So when I say that I started jiu-jitsu with ulterior motives, but somewhere along the way corrected my path, what I mean is when I say most people start jiu-jitsu for ulterior motives, I am not condemning anybody. What I'm really doing is I'm pointing the finger back at myself and saying, I've done this, like this is wisdom. You don't have to listen, you don't have to do anything, but if it resonates and you choose to do something about it, I'm just giving you what has happened, right? I don't care who does anything with anything. This is just what's happened.
Beautiful. That's the beautiful sentiment. I think that sentiment right there is the bottom line. Now let me ask you a question and kind of tell the story. Ask you a question through this story. So back in the day, I think it was around 2009. Henner and Hedon, they came out with their combative system, and then they started the online belts, where they would give what would eventually they termed it. They came up with the term technical blue belt. And I remember so many people being up in arms about that whole thing. Oh, to online good. It's like the equivalent of the mail order belt, right? So then I just paused for a second and saw the backlash that they got. And I just remember all the talk where a belt only covers 2 inches
Those
of your
people
waist
all have ulterior motives in jiu-jitsu. All the people who cared about other people getting technical blue belts, they are all doing jiu-jitsu for the belt or for what's the belt brings them. This is obvious.
I didn't understand. It's like, wait a minute. But on the same time, you'll say the belt doesn't matter. Just work hard.
The crazy thing is those people will maybe even be the majority. Yeah. Right. And so the majority, you see, that's the majority is normal. The majority is always wrong. Right. The majority. That's why they're the majority. OK, if something is the majority, that means that if you do it, you're going to get average results. Right. That's what majority is. So why would you want to copy anybody? Why would you want anybody else's opinion to reflect in a way that you act your life based on? Like, I don't want to be average. I don't think anybody listening to this chooses to be the mean, right? I choose to be great, and everybody has the potential to be great. It's just that because of society and chasing belts, chasing jobs, chasing these rewards, we all end up with 4 or 5 layers of ulterior motives, and then we blame others, and we blame ourselves, and we blame our circumstance, when in actuality we didn't even want the thing that we're chasing, and that's why we're ineffective. And that's why a lot of people, this is the sad truth, and if this applies to you, I'm sorry. Some people shouldn't even be training jiu-jitsu. They do jiu-jitsu specifically. I had I'm just going to say it outright. I had a business partner who was very good at jiu-jitsu, very successful at jiu-jitsu, business partner of mine. And this person was good at talent, right? But the reason why this person never made it to world champion, great levels, got past the elite levels, was because this person cared about what jiu-jitsu could give them. They cared about the power. They cared about the money. They cared about the respect. They were trying to fill holes in there. This person was trying to fill a hole in his life, and that's just not what I see amongst the greats. The greats come to the game already whole. They don't fill nothing. They're there to be great. They're not there to show the belt. These are the belt chasing these things. They will lead you to a road of ineffectiveness, and there's no judgment there. I'm not saying you want to live a life of ineffectiveness, you go right ahead. I'm just not okay with that because I've lived my entire life that way, and I'm just not okay with that anymore.
Well, I wouldn't say they shouldn't be training jiu-jitsu. In fact, I would say
no,
they probably need more jiu-jitsu.
Sorry, I didn't finish that thought. The people who have jiu-jitsu, who are doing jiu-jitsu for ulterior motives, there may be people in that group that should just quit today and take a direct path to what they're actually chasing, and they will get there in probably 1/10 of the time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if your goal is to chase wealth, right? You really want to be wealthy, but you want to do it behind the lens of jiu-jitsu. You want to do it through jiu-jitsu. You don't care about jiu-jitsu. You care about money. Then make money. Don't use jiu-jitsu to make money. You're going to have the shittiest jiu-jitsu in town. That's what I'm trying to say here. It's not that it's wrong. It's ineffective. That's the whole point, is effect. It's not right or wrong. Morality has no say in effectiveness. It doesn't exist in effectiveness. Morality only exists, when there's society, when there's other people you have to take care of in a collective, in a group, right? I don't care about that right now. I care about effectiveness because that's where I am in my life.
So there it is. So the significance of a belt, and maybe after hearing this, you need, or you should, or maybe it would be of value, I should say. I don't like saying you should. Find where your value holds.
What I hope, Jim, is that, and I want to make sure people don't quit jiu-jitsu. What I hope is this. I hope that, and you know what? I shouldn't say that. I don't hope for anything. If people quit jiu-jitsu because they realized that jiu-jitsu wasn't for them, then I saved them. Then I saved them. Then I saved them from this ulterior motive. But what I hope is this. I hope, I shouldn't. I keep saying hope, right? Because we're ingrained to think about hope. But I want people, because hope is like, it may happen, it may not. I want this to happen. I want people who maybe are doing jiu-jitsu for an ulterior motive right now, and it could be everybody actually. I want these people to have the permission from me, and it's not that I give people permission, but people tend to hear me, and then it resonates. I want these people to not care about the belt and care about jiu-jitsu, and it's okay to love the art for itself, and the other things will come. Okay. Now, if you truly love the art, that will you might have a switch that goes, I can't believe I was chasing this cloth. I actually only care about my friends in the gym and how I do in competitions, and how I care more about jiu-jitsu as an art and as a hobby. I don't really care about the belt, but society has taught me to care, so I kind of went into that direction. Oh wow, I don't have to go down that path. It's not necessary. Let me go on this path. And this is the direct path. And this path, ironically, will get you to the belt faster, this is why everything's backwards.
That's the secret sauce. And that's the bottom line, actually. I like that. That was a good way to wrap this up, Coach. He's Coach Ben. I'm Jim Lawson, at Coach BZ on Instagram, and Jiu-Jitsu Mag on Instagram for me. And, man, Coach, thank you. That was a good one. That was a good one. Hope you guys got value out of this. Stop chasing belts, man. Stop chasing belts.
Stop chasing anything you don't want.
Stop chasing medals. Yeah, stop chasing things you think you want. But ask yourself, why do you think you want those? And start chasing the things ahead of that.
The direct path.
There it is. All right, thanks, Coach. See you guys on the next one. Thank you.